Man, sad news, man. Well-known singer, songwriter, rapper, and filmmaker Oliver Tree has passed away at the age of 32 in what appears to be a mid-air helicopter collision. It's all around sad situation, man. It was 6 lives in total that was lost. I think it was what, 4 other people that was on board with Oliver, and then there was one other pilot that was on the other helicopter that they ended up colliding with. So it's just a sad situation all around. A lot of people, a lot of families affected. Just prayers up to everybody, man. Hope everybody can try to, find some peace through this. It just sucks when you see shit like this happen. And while maintaining as much respect for Oliver as possible, we're gonna check out this video. This video is by Trapmore Ross. The real reason for Oliver Tree's fatal crash revealed. Now, I don't know how reliable this information is, but just uploaded 3 hours ago. It's the newest information we got as to what's going on. So yeah, man, let's dive in. Let's take off.
Folks, I've got an update for you guys on the Oliver Tree situation, and some of this might surprise you. It sounds like the exact reason that he was on that helicopter that crashed has now surfaced. It sounds like we might actually know exactly why that helicopter crashed, and there's just some really sad images coming out and more backstory about, why he might have been there, what was going on. And look, I don't believe the conspiracy that his label killed him, but a lot of people have been spreading this story that his label might have had something to do with his death. It was very coincidental that he left the label just before his death. He just put out an album weeks before his death.
Really?
And he did it independently, and there's all these rumors going around his label might have had something to do with it. Now, I don't believe that, but I will show you some very interesting videos from shortly before he got on that helicopter of him talking about the situation with his label, and I think it is really interesting, even if I'm not buying the conspiracy theories personally, but
is it really a conspiracy though if we keep seeing it like happen time and time again? Like, we've seen this pattern before. How many times do it gotta happen before we start questioning the labels, right? Because every single time when we see these artists that are having disputes with their respective labels and then they die in these crazy wild fashions, like, it can't just be no crazy coincidence every time. You know what I'm saying?
It's just messed up, man. It's messed up. It's all bad. So I'm just going to show you everything that's going on. So there's a few new pictures that have come out from the scene. Obviously, you probably are aware of the situation now if you watched any of my previous videos.
Damn, bro, that's unfortunate, dog. Yeah, it said a plane had crashed in like I looked earlier, it said it had crashed into like a car dealership, bro. That shit sucks, man. I mean, I feel like, obviously we looking at it like, to us, we lost a celebrity, bro, but I feel like looking at the real, like, nitty gritty of the situation, bro. This is a human being, bro. This is somebody's family member. This is somebody's child. This is a person that somebody loved deeply beyond just the object of fame or beyond the public figure that they are. It's just, bruh, you never want to see nobody go through no shit like this, man.
News. There's sort of more photographs of emergency services working at the scene where the helicopters landed in this electric vehicle parking lot. And, we're kind of just seeing like a little bit more of a detail of the debris, the crash, the aftermath. So what is interesting, I'm going to show you this clip in a minute. There's a few clips that are circulating of him. Obviously, that's the footage of the collision.
God, whoa, hold up, what? I ain't seen this.
Obviously, that's
wow. Somebody actually caught the footage of him.
Let me tell you exactly.
Crashing in midair. Somebody caught the footage. That's crazy.
Circulating of him. Obviously, that's the footage of the collision and the crash. So let me tell you exactly how this collision ended up happening first, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the stuff they're saying about.
That's what I want to know.
Even in posts like this that are going around, this is on Change of Plans on Instagram, they said it's what a coincidence. Reports indicate that Oliver Tree died at 32 after a mid-air collision between 2 helicopters in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Authorities still investigating the cause of the crash. There's no verified evidence the crash was connected to comments about Atlantic Records or any dispute with his former label, and reports do note that he had recently left Atlantic Records and released his last album independently through Alien Boy Records. So this is why he was in the air. So there's videos now going around of him talking about his plans to take helicopters and people, asking whether or not they could get in on the helicopter trip and things like that. So he had intended all along to be taking helicopters around. So look at this.
Right.
But honestly, bro, you got to come tonight. So I'm going to fly in on the helicopter at 11 p.m. What helicopter? We have a...
So I don't know if I'm going to get copyrighted because his song's playing in the background of this. Hopefully it's all good. But, you know, he's talking about we're planning to get a helicopter. We've got a chopper. We're flying between places. This is just 3 weeks before the crash. So obviously we're finding out that he was flying between different countries. He had shows in, you know, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil in the weeks before his death. So he was clearly trying to get around very quickly via helicopter.
Chopper. I can't probably get you on the helicopter this time because we have a full house. Maybe I can kick my parents off it. All right, I'm gonna head up there.
So he was talking about flying around in helicopters. If that clip got removed because of copyright reason, he basically said, yeah, I'm planning to go there in helicopter. I'm going to try and get you onto the chopper. You know, that's what you're saying. Now, apparently, this is the latest news. Apparently, this is what's going on. So, allegedly, this helicopter was actually operating as an illegal air taxi. This is one of the helicopters that crashed.
What the fuck? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Illegal air taxi commonly referred. You know what? I don't even want to read the AI shit, bro. I'd rather read a real definition. Okay, in the illegal air charter, it says if one person pays any sort of compensation to another person for use of an aircraft and the person being paid is in operational control. What? So you can't pay the pilot directly or something? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm not. If one person pays any sort of compensation to another person for use of an aircraft, and the person being paid is in operational control. What? So you can't, that's crazy. I didn't know that was illegal. That's a stupid ass. I didn't know that was illegal. What about that is illegal? Why? If it's somebody out there more savvy on the FAA laws and all that shit like that, but let me know why is that illegal? What's the matter? Why you can't do that?
Crashed on Sunday morning had previously been the subject of complaints filed with Brazil's National Civil Aviation Agency, the ANAC, for allegedly operating as an illegal air taxi service. The aircraft, registered as PPMAC, was carrying 5 people when it collided mid-air with another helicopter, which was labeled PRDJJ. It then crashed into a vehicle storage yard belonging to BYD, triggering multiple explosions. Obviously, Oliver Tree was among the victims, and apparently, according to the records from the Civil Aviation Authority, this helicopter was not authorized to carry out commercial passenger transport operations. So PPMAC was registered to a company called Turfic Comercio de Frutas Ltda, owned by Oswaldo de Luca Filho, and was carrying 5 of the 6 people killed in the crash. The 6th victim was operating the other aircraft, and that I originally thought maybe they were filming a music video. They were filming him in a helicopter from another helicopter. It sounds like,
see, that's the thing that make me think it's some like weird shit behind it, because it's like, bro, that was a relatively open airspace that we saw them collide, right? You got one pilot on one of the helicopters and then another helicopter full of passengers. I understand shit happens in the air and it ain't just as simple as what we all trying to make it seem. I'm sure it's way more, intricate components to actually flying a fucking helicopter and trying to make quick maneuvers. But come on, dog. Like, you telling me that in all this fucking sky we got, I just find it hard to believe that 2 helicopters, and it just so happened that this was right after he leave the label. He dropped his first independent album. Now he going on the independent world tour, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to be that guy because, like I said, this is somebody's life that we talking about. So I hate to make that like a topic of like conspiracy conversation. But I mean, dog, come on. We can't act like this shit ain't in front of our face, man.
this might have been a genuine crash by an unlicensed air taxi operating in an area they shouldn't have been operating in. It says, according to documents obtained by Metropolis, ANAC began investigating alleged irregularities involving the PPMAC copter in March 2025 after a complaint alleged that the companies Star VIP and Heli VIP were marketing and operating illegal air taxi services using helicopter from Jacarepaguá Airport in Rio de Janeiro. Neither company had responded to requests for comment at the time of publication. The complaint submitted to the agency claimed the aircraft was operating with expired maintenance and its flight log contained inconsistencies regarding total flight hours. The ANAC inspectors formally requested explanations from Turfic, but the company reportedly ignored the notifications. So obviously this is another picture I don't think I'd seen. But apparently this is something that has happened before, another helicopter, and just absolutely tragic disaster. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you really, really broke my heart. I'm not going to lie to you. It's clear to me that this actually happened what probably happened was he landed in Rio de Janeiro. He was in, I believe, Sao Paulo to play his show about a week before. I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, it sounds like what probably happened is he flew to Rio de Janeiro from Sao Paulo via a plane, likely, and then had attempted to take an air taxi from the airport to wherever he was staying. And the reason why I believe this is because there's now images of his luggage on the ground after the crash that's circulating. And I think what's really sad about this, I'm going to warn you, you're not going to see anything graphic here, but just the symbolism of this is really sad. Because his trademark sweater that he is known to wear, the light blue and pink sweater that is his trademark, was actually seen inside of his luggage. So this is the image that was captured. No. This is allegedly Oliver Tree's luggage on the ground.
Oh, bro. Bro, death sucks, bro. Death sucks. And the worst part about death is that, like, everybody that need to die don't die. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got pedophiles and rapists still living, but we got niggas that people that's loved by many just dying for what? Imagery like this shit just kind of, it's kind of eerie, because like knowing that that's his shit and that knowing what happened to him, he ain't here no more, and this is kind of like the last piece of him that's left intact. Devastating, man. Devastating.
Oliver Tree's luggage and wreckage from the helicopter where the singer died along with 5 other people. That is his sweater. The pink, blue, and yellow. That's his sweater that he's been known to wear. And you know this is iconic, really, and it's just so sad to actually see.
Yeah, everybody's seen
that. Clearly the same sweater. And it just really, really breaks your heart. Now, some people are saying, how are these belongings intact? Well, the collision could have been so bad that, you know, his stuff just flew out. It just flew out before the plane hit the ground and caught fire. The whole thing could have been sent just miles away, you know? And this is a Rimowa suitcase.
Yeah, that definitely is a real possibility.
These are very, very expensive. They're very sturdy. They're very strong. But it's just so tragic to actually see that his belongings left out that way, and that's his signature. That's his trademark sweater, man. It's actually just heartbreaking, just to see that like that. The exact same sweater, man. So look, I'm gonna just remind you guys about this conspiracy that's going around. This is kind of what's been going around. You know, this was a post. I read this yesterday, but I'll just give you guys an update, and then I'm going to give you more context. It's saying 2 months after.
So this is really getting into the nitty gritty of like what could actually be behind this. Because like I say, I am not the type of person that believes shit like this just happens by coincidence. Like, I don't believe this was just happenstance. I don't think it was just a one-off type of thing. I do feel like, and I hate to say it, but bro, I just feel like I done seen too much weird shit happen time and time again. I done seen too many questions not be answered. I done seen too much evidence get discarded when stuff like this happens. I've seen it happen too many times to not have these concerns.
Tree released his album independently. Oliver Tree is no longer with us. And this was a post. He said that he dropped his Love You Madly, Hate You Badly album April the 24th. It was recorded in 82 different countries across 7 continents. And I said the only silver lining with this situation is before he died, he got to see.
Bro was going global. Bro was going international with it.
The whole world. He went on this 2-year tour all over the world. And he really got to live life before he passed away, which is just like the only silver lining to the situation. But as I said, he did everything behind. He said, after everything behind the scenes, I left my label Atlantic so I can release this independently on Alien Boy Records. It's the album I fought the hardest for. So he dropped this album completely independently, and obviously conspiracies are going around that maybe the label had something to do with it. Now, I don't believe the label had anything to do with his death, but I have now seen a few new resurfaced clips where he's actually digging deeper and explaining his issues with Atlantic, and it's really, really interesting. So I'm going to show you some of what he said that's now resurfaced, and it's going to give you just some backstory. I don't believe the label killed him, but he was clearly going through. All
right, bro, you ain't got to keep saying that, bro. All right, if you a bootlicking shill, bro, just say that. All right, God damn, you ain't got to shoot them that much bail, bro. We get it. You don't believe them. You don't believe that's what happened. All right, cool.
Record label, let's talk about it. After making tens of millions of dollars over 8 years for Atlantic Records, they no longer want to support my art because I'm not making songs for TikTok. And after dedicating my entire life to making art, I never got into this to make TikTok songs. I know the effects of TikTok. I've had multiple songs that connected there, but that's not why I got into making art. Over the last 2.5 years, I traveled 82 countries and recorded this album on all 7 continents. These are the types of projects that charge me as an artist. This is why I got...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hey, bro, we just gotta give a little quick round of applause, bro. The fact that he was able to do and achieve all these things before his untimely demise, that is like the only kind of beautiful silver lining in this case, is that he got a chance to do things that very few people will ever get a chance to do. He got a chance to go around the world and impact many lives and put his art in many different places around the world, man. That's not something that a lot of music artists can say.
I didn't do it in the first place. And just because I'm not making songs for TikTok means that the label doesn't want to support the vision. Well, guess what? I don't give a shit. And after you guys have joined together in tens of thousands and sent messages to the label, we have officially reached a negotiation over the past course of a week. My team has got the label to agree to release Love You Madly, Hate You Badly on my personal imprint, Alien Boy Records. You guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This music is finally going to see daylight. So support your local indie artists and go pre-order my album. April 24th is the official date. I love you all.
So he was going through it with the label. He was fighting with them to get this released. And, you know, he said he made them tens of millions of dollars. They don't want to support him because he wasn't trying to do songs for TikTok. Now, there's another clip that's going around as well, this one. So I think there's a little bit of an intro to this one. But so, look, I'm not supporting the conspiracy theory, but this guy's made a video. He's sort of talking about the conspiracy theory.
Bro, if this motherfucker say that shit one more time, dog.
But to be honest, I don't believe the conspiracy theory. So there's that.
Dog. What the fuck? I'm starting to think this nigga might be working for the label, bro. Why do he keep saying this shit?
Actually, another video going around. I'm going to show you this one instead.
My album is no longer coming out. Love You Madly, Hate You Badly is officially canceled, and I'm parting ways with Atlantic Records.
Now, this was the video that I saw. This is when I first heard everything that happened, and I started hearing the little, you know, whispers about it could have something to do with the situation with his label. This was the first video I saw.
Behind the scenes has been nothing short of a nightmare. I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song that didn't even get released because someone forgot to put it in. I don't really understand how that's possible. I've made them tens of millions of dollars, but they don't remember that. So, the music...
They never remember what the artist does for them, bro. That's because they only see you as a product. They see you as a pawn, a cog in the system. They see you as a tool to make them money. That's it. That's why they always gonna fuck the artist over in the end, bro. They're never gonna look after the artist before they look after themselves. And that's another reason why a lot of people have this level of skepticism when they do see artists that are under major labels die in fashions like this, is because, bro, like, look at every single situation. We could pull this shit up time and time and time and time again. An artist is worth more dead than they are alive to a label like this. This shit is sad, but, bro, I mean, I ain't making this shit up. You ain't got to take my word for it. We can go back and look. This shit that happened to some of your favorite artists. I ain't making this shit up.
It's owned by them. The remainder of the music will not be coming out. I will always continue to make music. Thank you for everyone who supported me. I can't wait to release more music at some point at a later time, but for now, there is nothing on the horizon. I'm so sorry, and I love you guys. Thank you.
So look, he was fighting with the label. He was going to war with the label. Look, I don't think the label killed him. It sounds like they came to some kind of agreement behind the scenes.
All right, bro. Look, I think I've had enough of this video. I think we got the point. This dude don't think the label killed him. He just is all 100% label friendly, bro. This motherfucker does not think the label had nothing to do with nothing. But yeah, man, that's where it's at, man. Like I said, I just can't stress enough, bro. It's just a real unfortunate situation, bro. Very unfortunate. Rest in peace to Oliver Tree. Prayers with his family, prayers with all of the other families of the people who lost their lives in this accident as well, man. And also, I just want to say before I end this video, just to go on record, I'm not saying that the label 100% did have something to do with this. I'm just saying that when I see shit like this happen in the music industry, my skepticism is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting nothing past nobody. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying we can't leave no stone unturned as to what the fuck happened. But yeah, that's going to be all for this video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments, man. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. One love. It's made.